Tony G is holding 5-4 offsuit. Pre-flop. Tony G opens to 1,000. Hellmuth bumps it to 2,000. That re-raise looks small, almost like a keep-it-friendly sizing, but it is actually very revealing. With a hand that plays great post-flop and dominates Tony's usual junk, Hellmuth chooses control over punishment. He does not go big and try to blow Tony out. He invites him in.
Things can get nasty at the end, right? The river was wild.
Confident that if they see a flop, he will outplay him. Tony checks, which is standard with his marginal pair and draw potential. But Hellmuth checks back as well. That check from a 3-better on this texture is all about pot control and deception. In Hellmuth's head, his hand is good often enough that he wants to see turns and rivers without inflating variance. From Tony's perspective, this is the perfect moment to take the lead. He bets 4,000. It looks like a probe from a weak 9 or a semi-bluff, but underneath it is pure value, designed to keep Hellmuth's entire range in.
Call.
That's 10 grand. Phil calls, sees the bad news.
He has a full house.
You didn't raise?
At least maybe we'll get the blow up we're all waiting for.
I know you got a flush.
The 9. This guy's raising.
He's got a 9. You try.
Explosion's about to happen.
Bring the drink.
Bottom pair against top pair, where he's going to pay me off another 7,000, 8,000. But no, he fills up and wins 14 for me.
You're a disgrace to the game.
Where did he come up with that?
I'll tell you, can I tell you one thing, Tony? Can I tell you one thing? I wish that I weren't a bad loser sometimes, but it's 10 times as bad to be a bad winner. And you're a bad winner, my friend.
Bill Hellmuth is looking down at ace-8 offsuit.
It's great if you have a good hand. I straddle, 12-8. 12-8. Oh, fuck. Look at that. All right, wait.
Pre-flop begins with a sequence that defies all logic.
All right, I'll straddle. I don't give a fuck.
All right, 25.
I've hit the point of not caring anymore.
What do you want to do with
I'm not going to blind all in.
50.
I don't have 25-6.
You have to.
Well, 25-6.
Blind all in?
Maybe. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think I blind all in?
No, I don't think you blind all in.
I'm all in.
Phil's all in.
About 55,000.
A moment where the pristine strategy of high-stakes poker is replaced by the sheer, unadulterated chaos of the creator game. Phil Hellmuth, the 14-time bracelet winner. He shoves all in, hoping to pick up the dead money. In a normal game, this might isolate a single opponent. But this is not a normal game.
No more content.
Yes.
Why? Because he wants to buy that. The pot that you don't know what your
You
cards
owe me.
are.
You know what? You owe me, Botez, so I don't mind if you call.
Did you expect
if you were,
call
you know.
26?
Yeah.
What about
taking advantage of our stupidity.
I'm so happy you just said that.
What about a
Because that's literally like, why would you all in? What do you mean? He's not going to call 26,000.
20K family pot, all right?
Half and half. I call.
There's the call.
Oh, are you trying to do the chips?
Yeah. Alan has ace-3, by the way. Does he call?
I call.
Oh my god. Can you call?
God.
And add another
Keating has the biggest dick.
I'm all in.
55,000 to it.
Reese is all in.
Wait, how much do you have?
I'll let you count.
This is 12-8 right here. Yes.
And now we get an all-in over the top.
Insane straddle. Jump. Okay. So let me get 56.
I'm all in.
Okay.
Take it all.
This is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of a $300,000
Yeah, flip.
flip, I guess.
I mean, obviously.
By the way.
5. Or no, that's 80, 250. Put it in.
339,000 in there.
Only times ever, I'm going to say this. He's stalling.
Oh my god. And Queen.
Oh, that's
A 3?
wow.
So she's winning.
Everybody pairs but Beast.
Everyone but me.
What is happening?
Everyone but me. Come on.
That means there's 6 left for you, King.
How in the hell can someone...
That's fine.
It's a queen.
I'm calling it right now.
Oh,
This is a queen. I'm calling it right now. This is a queen.
No queens.
I will literally tip you $20,000
So
if you put
9,
a queen
3,
there.
8, queen.
You better put a queen there in your best interest.
He's praying.
20 grand.
Even Magic can't do that. And Botez again. Are you kidding me?
What, like
ace-9 off.
600,000 now?
Oh my God.
Top 100 female poker owners.
That's it.
Did you crack it just now?
Jimmy, you realize how many chips I have? Bro, you know how many I have? I have like 10K left.
I mean, what the fuck? She called $50,000 with an ace-9 offsuit, and I'm losing in this fucking game. What the fuck?
That is literally why I knew this was going to the game.
What is happening? What is that?
Well, at least.
Bro, we're getting steamrolled.
At least I know she'll lose $500.
Shout out to 5. Oh, my girl is bawling.
She's gonna single-handedly fix the wage gap in America.
Tony G is looking down on 10-9 offsuit.
Here we go, Phil. Did you raise it?
Pre-flop is Tony G doing exactly what Tony loves to do, take a hand that plays huge on connected boards and drag Hellmuth into a pot.
Back to the same tricks.
I'm not going to let you two just enjoy
Back to
the
the
pan.
same old, same old.
I feel like I'm stuck in the middle of a triangle.
Stuck in the middle.
Hellmuth opens King Jack, a very Hellmuth hand, strong enough to raise, not quite strong enough to want a giant pre-flop war. Tony flats with 10-9 suited, the classic, let's see a flop and torture you later. The flop comes 8, Queen Jack, and it is a total car crash in slow motion. For Tony G, it is perfect. 10-9 gives him the nut straight immediately.
We're gonna draw. Draw your gun.
I got a big draw, Tony. What do you want me to do?
The turn brings the 5 of diamonds, which looks like a total brick. Nothing about this card should scare off a player who was happy on the flop. Tony now leans on the situation. The sizing tells the full story. Into a pot that was already inflated, this is not a little probe, it is a serious ask. With the nuts, Tony wants value from exactly what Hellmuth has, strong 1-pair hands and pair plus draws that hate folding versus him. Hellmuth thinks it through and calls again.
Where's the big draw now? Oh, where's the big draw? I think I'm gonna check to you or what?
Well, I thought maybe you would, yeah.
Yeah.
Hellmuth is now facing the most brutal question. Do you really think I am the kind of guy who triple barrels this size with nothing on this board after you called twice? Or, if Tony ever gives up his bluffs on earlier streets, which he often does when met with resistance, then this river bet becomes heavily weighted toward value. Hellmuth tanks and convinces himself that against Tony G specifically, people just do not always have it.
All right, I call.
He makes the call.
There you go. Welcome to the game.
Ouch.
Just flops the nuts just off the bat.
Welcome to the game. You've been doing a lot of talking. Now show me your bullets. Show me what you brought to the game. Where's your money? Don't tell me you're going to play with that crap. You're not going to embarrass yourself here, are you? Yet again. Phil, produce.
Vanessa is looking down on pocket aces.
So it's me and you. I got to raise it 1,200.
When have I wasn't called predictable? I have many things.
So if you re-raise, then you build the pot so big, and then you're going to get bluffed out in a big pot.
Tony G thinks he's going to outplay Vanessa post-flop with position and a junk-suited looking hand.
Keep the pots low. I bet 2,000.
Yeah.
That's fair, you know. I think it's better betting in a dark. A dark raise, that's hard and commitment.
The flop is the dream board for Tony. He smashes bottom 2 pair versus most opponents. This is where he starts fast playing, trying to punish overpairs and top pair by ballooning the pot immediately. He leads 2K, to which Vanessa instantly raises to 5K. From her point of view, this looks super standard. She has overpair, she doesn't block spades, there are straight and flush combos Tony G can show up with, and she wants to deny equity.
You ready?
From Tony's point of view, that raise is exactly what he was hoping to induce. He doesn't just call, he makes it 20K.
You ready? If you win the hand, you keep me quiet.
Don't believe you. That bluff I'll call.
That size is Tony basically telling a story of, I'm not scared of you, I have a real hand. The problem he doesn't realize is Vanessa loves that story. When she flats the 20K instead of jamming, she's saying, I have you in jail and I'm letting you keep betting. With aces, she caps nothing, and Tony can't narrow her the way he thinks he can. Turn is where everything flips and Tony doesn't feel it yet. So Tony keeps value betting for 10K.
You could shut me right up.
How?
Well, by being all in and winning the pot.
Punch in the face.
Just push a button?
Thinking he can still get called by worse and charge flush draws. But in reality, he's now drawing almost dead against boats and nutty slow plays, and Vanessa has him in a spot where calling is mandatory and raising is unnecessary. Full house versus full house is where bankrolls go bankrupt because nobody folds boats to one bet emotionally.
Now you got to show some guts. Can you bet this, or are you going to make a really weak check now on the end? Go on, Vanessa, you can do it.
All in.
Call.
Ace is full.
Wow, very nice. That's the best. Very nice.
You got screwed?
I got a full house too in the end.
Wow.
And a flush draw. See, that shut me up. Well done, Vanessa.
Vanessa doubles through.
I got lucky, obviously.
Not really. I mean, it's...
We took turns getting lucky. I got lucky to get the aces. You got lucky on the flop. I got lucky on the turn.
I haven't won one hand when I've been good. So.
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at ace-10 offsuit. Pre-flop begins with a strategic setup that perfectly illustrates the kicker trouble trap, which often defines high-stakes amateur versus pro dynamics.
The other hand.
Mr. Businessman.
The businessman.
Williams
The
folds.
businessman.
I love it. I love it. Let's go.
Locks out 2.
Mr. Value Bet. You just look at me like a piggy bank.
The flop falls 3 diamonds, and it couldn't have been better for Perkins. Hellmuth, despite being the pre-flop aggressor, decides to check. This is a classic small ball move from Hellmuth. He realizes his ace is a good draw and wants to let the other players define themselves before he makes a move. The turn brings the 10, the absolute doom card for this specific hand configuration. Hellmuth has now improved to top pair, but the hierarchy is brutal. Hellmuth leads out for 6,000, finally betting for value and protection now that he has connected with the board. Fishman wisely folds his deuces. However,
Min-raise.
Perkins decides to ramp up the aggression. He executes a min-raise to 12,000. Perkins is finally starting to snap the trap on Hellmuth, who decides to make the sticky call. The river is the 4, a complete brick that changes nothing about the hand values. Hellmuth checks, adhering to his defensive posture after being raised on the turn. He is now purely in bluff catch mode. Perkins, having committed to his aggressive line, now faces a critical value sizing decision. He fires a curious bet of 6,000.
This she's running so good.
Businessman is turning over queen-high flushes.
That's supreme donkey to you, sir.
I mean,
Woo, I was dodging that. I was dodging that ace. Woo. I dodged that ace of diamonds. Bullets were flying.
How did you flop 3 diamonds with the 2 in your hand, and then defend against 2 more diamonds coming out?
I mean, how lucky did I get? I'm check raising them all in on the flop. I had the nut flush draw, and it's the businessman, you know.
What business are you in, Mr. Businessman?
Tony G is looking down at King 5 suited. Pre-flop begins with a textbook display of small ball, aggression that quickly lures the entire table into a treacherous multi-way dynamic. Scott Seaver, sitting with pocket 8s, makes a highly deceptive decision to just flat call. In a full ring game, this medium pair often warrants a 3-bet for protection, but Seaver chooses the trappy route, hiding his strength and inviting others in. The flop falls a texture that acts as a total landmine for 3 of the 4 players. The action is ignited by Tony G. Despite having only bottom pair and a flush draw with his King 5, Tony decides to seize the initiative with a donk bet of 4,000. This move is pure psychological warfare. He is trying to define the hand immediately.
I'm all in.
Daniel's out.
I call.
Scott calls.
Wah-wah-wee-wah.
That's bad.
You got flush draw there.
However many times you want to run it is fine by
once.
me. Once is fine by me.
3 8s. Flush draw.
Thank you, Daniel.
You're so due to hit a flush. It's unreal.
I haven't hit one. I'm happy to go home.
Actually, Scott Seaver is the one that's all in right now.
Tony, I really do like you, but I got to admit I'm rooting for myself.
The turn, a 9.
No. Now you need a 6. That'd be much better.
6 would be much better. Lots of outs. Come on, dear, let's do it one time.
I don't know. Us kids on the internet talk about too many outs syndrome. When you pick up this many outs on the turn, never a hit. You need to be like cut down to 2 outs going into the river to hit it.
I believe you.
Yeah, I know, believe it.
Possible.
It's science.
It's not impossible.
It's mathematical fact. This is a classic too many outs syndrome right here.
Truth be told, Tony's only picked up 1 more out.
The river's the 3 of diamonds.
Too easy. She's consistent. Well, thank you.
See you later, man.
Well done, everyone.
You
Take
ran
care.
like awful.
Nah,
Tony seems to think he's busted.
Vanessa is looking down on ace-jack offsuit. Pre-flop is a quiet trap that Vanessa sets on purpose. Antonio opens the button light, which Vanessa flat calls from the small blind and Shaq completes. By not 3-betting, Vanessa keeps both dominated aces and splashy suited connectors in. Multiway, in position on Antonio and with Shock behind. Ace-Jack plays beautifully. She wants exactly this kind of pot. That's top pair, top kicker for Vanessa on a very wet texture. Instead of checking to the razor and risking a free card or a check-through 3-way, she leads 165K. It's a protection lead that charges every draw and worse jack. Shaq's hand is the textbook, raise the donk, candidate, pair plus clubs plus straight equity. He bumps it to 400K, telling a story of strength while leaning on fold equity plus a ton of ways to improve. Vanessa just calls. No reason to blow up the pot against a range that includes bluffs and dominated value. And if she 3-bets, she mostly isolates the strongest stuff or gets shoved on by draws with tons of equity. Flat keeps the leash tight. Turn pairs the board. That card quietly helps Vanessa more than Shock. Sets are less likely now. Her jack stays very live, and a bunch of Shaq's pair-based value gets neutered. He still has all the draws, though.
All in.
And Shaq shoves!
I call.
Vanessa calls! It's a 10!
That was not supposed to happen.